Shalom. First and foremost, I give all praises and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Mekapadash.
Double honor to the apostles. That was a great news to do well.
That's right.
Peace and blessings to the acrimony will push this 2, 3, 4 crowds a year, right?
Yeah.
Right, again, come out here again to do what? To prophesy, because as workmen, this is our job. Right? We don't have the kind of life that other men have out here. Alright? We job is to come out here and teach. It's very put to them as what? As working for that penny. Right? That's not a bus pass.
You know, just to add to what the brother saying. You know, they get them one and get it to one and to feed the sheep and to feed them one. The stuff that will nourish them, stuff that will actually be beneficial to them. But just as you see, the example is like that's not. You see, our whole excursion bus, for who don't know, excursion bus is just a party bus, you should say. And passing, and that is what Jake Mine said then. They don't want to hear the soul, they don't want to abide by the soul. You know? What the whole mindset is you know, partying. Same way as the scriptures talk about soul in the days of Noah. You know, that is the same exact spirit that these people are in today. You know? You see the book of 2 Ezra 15 verse 1. It says, behold, speak down in the ears of my people the words of prophecy which are put in thy mouth, said the Lord.
So you see how the Lord gave us a command. Right? You mightn't see that in the 10 Commandments. You mightn't see that in the book of Deuteronomy. But the Lord gave us, the second we tell he say, if you love me, feed my sheep. Right? That is something that we were told to do. To come out here and feed the sheep of the Lord. To give them warning from me. Hear the word of thy mouth. Right? All of these things is what this is what surrounds our life. We don't have the time, the leisure time that other men have to do certain things and get caught up in that rat race and all them different things. We have a job to do. There are certain things that the Lord will allow us to be able to enjoy. Some men might have more money than others. Some men might have a family that they can spend some time with, you know, occasionally and so forth. But our first job is this ministry. Right? And men just get caught up in the world and just forget these things.
So let's talk about the first love.
You understand? Our first job is this ministry. We have to make sure that we do these things first.
If it don't matter what it is plaguing in mind, whatever it is going through, no matter what it is, you're gonna push this food until what? The end. You know, until rather you live or you die for who? For him. You know, for the Lord. So no matter what it is you do, the Lord's supposed to be first. Right? The Lord say we talk about praying. But about just as I mentioned it, let me read it in. There's John chapter. John 21, because you don't mention it and I'll bring it out, right? Let's say John chapter 21, I'll read from verse 14. It said, this is now the third time that Yahweh showed himself to his disciples. After that, he was risen from the dead. So when they had dined, Yahweh said to Simon Peter, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me more than these? He said unto him, yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. He said unto him, feed my lambs. Right? He said to him again the second time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? He said unto him, yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. He said unto him, feed my sheep. And then 17, it says, he said unto him the third time.
As I can say, you know number 3 that they have a number with certain things, because that's like, for example, with the cock crow. Cock crow much 3 times. You understand?
And usually like this technically, that's what you're on level. Like when you tell somebody something, you say, I tell you once, I tell you twice, I tell you 3 times, you know? It's repetitive, so you're not changing your answer, you're not doing this, right? So he said unto him the third time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? Peter was grieved because he said unto him the third time, lovest thou me? You understand?
You get flashback.
Yeah. And he said unto him, Lord, thou knowest all things. Thou knowest that I love thee. Yahweh said unto him, feed my sheep.
And you see how you can see just through the scriptures alone and through the storylines. You can tell the Lord is not a man of sweet words. He don't want to hear what it is you want to say about what it is, about what the case may be. He's an action man. He wants to see you do what it is you're saying. It's not about you saying, yeah, I love you. It's not going to talk about that now. That's in Titus, I think it is. They say with their mouth they profess, but their hearts are far from me. Just paraphrasing. Right? The Lord is a man who like to see action. You love me? Show me you love me. Oh, yeah, just show me you love me. And so forth. And the scripture also say what? They talk about this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments. The things that the Lord told us to do, that is what we do, and that is how we show him that we love him.
Mm-hmm. Because you see, plenty people use the word love, and they don't understand. They can't use the word unless you show it. You understand?
Yeah.
You just show that they actually love something. It's the same way a man would tell the bird, would tell his wife, hey, you love me. You know, show me that you love me. You wouldn't do things. You wouldn't do things. If you're saying you love something, you wouldn't do things a little.
Right hungry.
Yeah.
Right hungry. A person can get a feeling served righteously. You might be doing nothing wrong, but it might get a feeling served. That has happened. But it can't be that your wife hungry and you're sitting down home doing nothing. You're supposed to be taking care of your children and you're spending your money in your car. You understand? You have ways that's supposed to show these people that you love them. It's not about telling them.
Yeah, it's not about just telling them. It's like it's an action word. Because you have to show that you actually love. And the Lord tell us what love is. And if you're saying love him, then you have to do according to what? To what is written. You understand?
Say love showeth no ill towards his neighbor.
Yep.
Therefore love is the fulfillment of the law.
That's right. It's verse 18, you say, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, when thou was young, thou girdest thyself, and walkest whither thou wouldest. But when thou shalt be old, thou shalt stretch forth thy hands, and another shall gird thee and carry thee whither thou wouldest not. Right? So, but that's good. What I really wanted was this. The part where you say, feed my sheep. And that is what you have to do. That is the job that is given unto you. For them feed the sheep. Right? Well,
See, there's Matthew 6. I'll start from verse 30, right? It say, wherefore, if power so clothe the grass of the field, which today is, and tomorrow is cast into the oven, shall he not much more clothe thee, O ye of little feet? So the Lord telling you here what's going on. To start with, you should not be if it's a man of the Lord and you understand the times, trying to be a millionaire, trying to be the next did you see the name? This right?
Teeth?
Yeah, teeth, yeah. Trying to be like the next teeth. That shouldn't be in your mind. You're supposed to be seeking heavenly things. Yeah, it's true, you have to work. There are certain things you need to do. But your focus is not to excel in these things and not excel. The man, just like again, he's ordering our example, who wanted to tear down the bands and bring bigger bands. He wasn't trying to be rich towards the Lord. He was trying to be physically rich, and that is where the problem started.
And that's what the Lord told the Lord require your life tonight. Was it, man?
Yeah, that is himself.
So we're going to do, and usually that is how people are still. They want to continue living and not abiding by the laws of the Lord and abiding by the Lord. But when it's time of the pain, the affliction, that is when they want to call upon Him. That is when now they want to. That is when now they want to kneel long. That is when now they want to do what? Now it's time to serve the Lord. You understand?
Where was your service all this time?
The time was good.
God.
When time was good.
When Joshua waxed back.
Yeah, that's right. Joshua waxed back. Where was doing?
Yeah, understand?
And some here, yeah,
go through.
Is Isaiah 65 verse 13? It says, therefore thus said the Lord God, behold, my servant shall eat, but he shall be hungry. And let's go back to the scripture and read, because if the Lord could do that to the grass, food that was for us. And that is when our faith coming that they're not supposed to study what it's going to do. He said, take no thought. You know?
You see, like for example, you see what all things are written 4 times.
Written for our learning.
When we look at the stories of the scriptures, the kind of ways we see men get food, you really have to believe that in that time to come, the Lord will be able to feed you. You understand? Because this one, a bird literally bring food for the man to eat in a cave where nobody knew where he was. Birds will be don't go inside it. You understand? You understand? Because birds don't be in caves and things just so. They be in trees and certain other places. A bird don't even know he inside it. But yet it went out and find meat and bring for the man to eat. Manna literally fall from the sky, and it was meat for them to eat. You understand? Daily, Where else manna was falling besides there that other people eating the manna too? It only falls for them. You understand? And the manna was even designed that way. So that so I think how the storyline went was that on the weekdays, or well, sorry, not the weekdays, on the normal days, where it wasn't the Sabbath, the manna was supposed to last them daily. And for the Sabbath, it would take twice as much, so they would have enough to eat on the Sabbath too. And I think a part of the story was that he had one of them who take more manna than he was supposed to, and the next day the manna rotten. So how it is on that day, the manna didn't last more than a day, but on the Sabbath, it was able to last the day before and on the Sabbath itself. Let us show you is the Lord controlling it. And that was to show what? That every day you had to look for that manna. It wasn't about being able to physically see food there to be able to have something to eat. You had to eat all that you had today, and tomorrow you had to come back and look for more manna again. And that took faith.
And that takes faith and work. Okay, you don't wake up in the early to go on what you just want.
But you also had to believe that the manna would come down.
Yep, that's right.
You understand? So it's showing you how the design works. You had to believe. You have to believe that the Lord would feed you. Even when it comes to when Israel pick up again and they had to look at the image of a snake or something like that, and the ones who did it would have been healed. You had to believe. All of it goes back to having faith in the Lord.
Also had to be seen to work and go back to like even the time that we in or we enter into, right? I should say we already in. Because when the scriptures mention, or when the apostles and the apostles, was asking them, they were going on, Lord tell us the signs that are coming now and the signs at the end of the world. He tell them about famines. You understand? One of the signs was famines. He tell them about different situations, and again, they go back and say that, hey, it would have famines, it would have these things coming, and you would be in the midst of it. And there is where faith coming. That is why I put the Isaiah before, that is servant shall live. But a servant act, in order to know, is a servant, you have to do what? You have to what? You have to serve.
Action.
As an action word. You have to serve. You understand? You have to pray in that work to get the payment. So you see how it is work. You just can't say, well, I need to eat and he ain't do no work. You understand? It's such an important thing that you have to put in the work to feast, if you're on the feast,
In the parable, that which you sow,
yeah,
that which
you shall reap. Yeah, that's right.
But you expect to reap with no
sowing. Yeah. That's such and that is the thing, The Lord strictly tell you about the Holy Two is going to get cut off because of what the wickedness that they in and so forth. But to know that they're doing wickedness, that means they have to be doing something. And in the same way, you being a man of the Lord, you have to be doing something for the Lord. And that's what we say, we're working towards what? To gain a crown.
You sow the seed of wickedness, and you sow the seeds of righteousness by your actions.
Yeah, and the two work against each other, right? But everything working double, so one against another. But it must have the righteous and must have the wicked, and it goes to it. And again, in order to know you're righteous, you have to be doing righteous things. You have to be seen. You have to be seen. I can bring some here for you. Let's get into it. Say, this is the book of Sirach, chapter 2, and I can read from verse. Let me read from verse 8. Right? It says, "Ye that fear the Lord, believe Him, and your reward shall not fail." Right? So that is the thing. So you believe in the Lord, your reward will fail. Sorry, Ecclesiastes chapter 2, right? Like from verse 7. Sorry, verse 8. No, I'm going down. I'm going down. But I just wanted to start from here now. Right? So So you remember that you have to pay the work. You say you don't fear the Lord, and if you don't fear the Lord, you know the things that the Lord to do. You understand? If we become outside, you know, say no any terror, the Lord we do what? We persuade men. Okay, yeah, but my bad, sorry. But nonetheless, under the Spirit, So we at the end of the day, you have to do the work. It's the same way like for the job, right? For the job, the boss does do what? The boss does have to spark some faint all you. The boss might do what? He might load you up one day. He might tell you go home. He might tell you take a rest. You might see one of your co-workers get fired, for something small, but it's just a put a faint here. And usually, or the boss man, or they fear the Lord. You understand? Because if they did fear the Lord, or they would not be doing the things that they're doing right now. You understand? If they did fear the Lord, or they'd be worshiping the Lord, and that is what we continue to say outside here. The Lord say what? They honor Him with the lips.
No, that's Isaiah doctrines and commandments.
Yeah. It's the honor him with the looks, right? Understand?
Teaching the doctrine and commandments.
Right? And you see, that's the thing. And that's the thing, the honor him with the looks. But we have to put in our work, you know? You have to put in our work to be saved. Right? So it say, verse 9, it say, ye that fear the Lord, hope for good, and for everlasting joy and mercy. Yeah, that is what we work for. You know, that is what we're working for. That is what we're working towards too. We really, you know, we herald in the coming of the Lord, because we want to come out from this place. You know, the scripture talk about them that sigh and cry. You understand? For them that sigh and cry. And that is that's what you understand? So yeah, so that why it say ye that fear the Lord, hope for good and for everlasting joy and mercy. See? And that is basically where we are.
That's a lie, Mark.
This one?
Huh? Mark 7.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
Mark 7. Don't come back to
No, it's not that one I was talking about.
commandments of men.
No, not that one I was talking about. Not that one.
I think, what it was quoting
Right,
in Mark was from Isaiah. I think when he was quoting it, it's Isaiah.
I know, but Isaiah was basically outside. That it was in Isaiah 29, right?
Because you were saying what Isaiah says.
Yeah. But also in Isaiah was talking about now. But nonetheless, come back to the saying that that's the thing. Right? That's what we aiming for, that everlasting joy and mercy. Right? It says verse 10, it says, look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was not confounded? Or did any, and that's a question mark he asking, look at the generations of old, and that's what the brother said. You know, all the scriptures giving an example of that. You know? And we use the examples continually, the same way you use Sodom and Gomorrah as an example today, to show how the destruction are going to come to what? Ungodly men. Right? And the same thing going to come upon this place. Right? It say, look at the generation of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded, or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? And whom did he ever despise and call upon him? And that's a question mark. Who? You know, because all the accounts was given, the men of the Lord, right? The Lord helped. Even though they was put in the situations and it was for particular reasons why they was put there, and sometimes people just leave out.
That time he was even killed, but there wasn't despised. That was just the Lord's desire for them. They skipped this over that.
Precious in his sight, that are his saints.
I just want to think about it. So I just want to sometimes that might tell you, whether you live for the Lord, whether you die for the Lord.
People feel to realize that I believe there wasn't no account for John on the island of Patmos, but the rest of the apostles, they were killed. You understand? Some of them was hanged upside down because they didn't want to be crucified like how the Messiah was crucified. They said he wasn't worthy. You know?
This was an apostle. He had it
cut off. You know? These are the things that happen, and what would they say? It are people like when they die for the Lord, they watch it as
the Lord wasn't with you.
The Lord wasn't with you. No. You know? There's a lot of men that die for the Lord. But they're part of the work. Yeah. Technically, they're part of the work as well.
Being a martyr.
Yeah, being a martyr. That the Lord mentioned, being a martyr for the Lord.
Goes back into the Revelations. You see the souls of them that will be held for the testimony. All that is a part of it. You understand? Sometimes your lot is to live, sometimes your lot is to die. And the Lord is the one who just choose which lot you end up in.
Think about it like this: if you can't do this work here, it won't make you feel you're going to stand in a day that the hour of temptation comes. What make you feel you can't do this? What make you feel that day going and say, well, okay, I'm not going to take a chip? You know?
They say, be all faithful until death, and I shall give you a crown of life. But it also says there are some of you that will never taste death.
Yep.
It have it on both sides. Yep. Some will die, some will live. But no matter which one the Lord chooses for you, nonetheless, it's not the way it's supposed to do.
But there's where you're trying to put your that's where you're trying to work to being chosen of the Lord. That's why the issue talk about the hope in person as a work. I hope. Say you want to be what? I hope for the elect. You understand? That's where you're supposed to say. You know? So you see, look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise and call upon him? Right? They say, for the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long suffering and very pitiful, and forgiving sins and saving in the time of affliction. Right? So yeah, and save in the time of affliction. Right?
So do I ever,
What? No, you what?
I was going to say, so do I ever feel anytime you come, guys, people say, well, they say there be many that you see benefits in this life and have not known me. Anytime you get delivered from affliction, it's not from your own power. It's not from you being such a smart and wise nothing. It's because it's the Lord that delivers you from a situation. Because He's the one who created the situation in the first place, and He could have left you right there to perish in it. He's the one who delivers you from it. Right? So that is the post. That is the individual that you really have to focus on. You say what say, I kill, I make alive. I wound and I heal. When you look at that wound, it's like a cut, you know, or like something that happened to you. The Lord that is doing that, and the Lord that is healing you from being wounded. So that is the individual they really have to focus on. Right?
Let's say, woe unto you that have lost patience, and what will ye do when the Lord shall visit you? Yeah, what are you going to do when the Lord visits you? After some time, you lose patience and give up. You know? What is he going to do? And usually when you lose that patience in the Lord, you start to turn back to what? To the world. You go back to what? To your vomit.
God.
You know?
Say, many shall say in that day, Lord, have I not prophesied in thy name? But even though you were saying these things, wait till you always do it. Right? You say, a man can say you have faith, but if you have no works and faith with it, then faith is dead. I have a reason why they give you these examples and so forth, because any man can say you have faith. It's an easy thing for you to tell somebody something, but when you show it, like he doesn't know how good a worker, why? Because he just says he's the best worker in the country? No, it's because he has actually put effort into the company or into the particular job that he's doing.
Yeah, that should have worked.
Yeah.
You know? You can't say something and not do it.
Over time, he always there. You understand? On holidays, days off, he always there. He always putting in that effort and energy.
That was something when you open it, so it might not be what in season and what out of season. It doesn't matter what time it is. You know you have a work to do and you will do it to your best ability, right? And you know you have to push your best foot forward. You know, at times you might be sick. You know, you might be dumb. Scripture talk about the infirmities in the body, the thorns in the flesh. You know,
many running against. They say run that you might obtain prize. Many running against other men who working hard for this too. You understand what I'm saying? And if the Lord realized that hey, you in the company and you ain't really putting in a certain amount of effort that you were to put, you talk about either be a hot or cold. If you ain't putting in that effort and that energy, what you gonna do? Fire.
I was doing forget which part it was. But we did the Lord say that little bit you had, you will take it back. You know?
That was in Revelation or something. It's true where you say he will come and remove the candlestick from your hand. You understand? All these different things that spark fear into you because you don't if you understand this truth, you see what's going on with men over here. You don't want to be one of them.
You want to be
one of them men out there. I tell you, I see some people believe some kind of madness and doing some kind of things out there. You don't want to be one of them men out there. You don't. Yeah, it's true. The truth is a little difficult when it comes to, you know, having to deal with certain things, having to deal with certain people, especially when you have to always be a bigger person. It is having trials, and it's supposed to be like that because, as I said, it was easy. Everybody could do it.
That's right.
It's supposed to be difficult, but you don't want to be like one of them people like that.
Also, as always saying it, what? Remember, everybody, every person is being made an example. Even you yourself being made an example. Everybody's making an example. Whatever that example be, whatever example that be, is for the Lord to decide. But you say when you also doing the work, so you will be an example of what? Doing the work and receiving for that salvation. You understand?
Giving only prophets onto the Lord's heart. You understand? It have to be seen that you was one of their men.
And even let's talk about that to be seen. You know? But even how other men that need to be saved going and saved. How they going to know the doctrine, you have to be saved. You know?
See like I shall see thy features.
That's right.
That prophecy has to be fulfilled. You have to be Audi. You have to be all over. Your face have to be painted. You know, like when you have people watch me up and down, because they must pass some them and see me when I on the streets here. I had to deal with that. Even if it might be a day, okay, right, what can I really do mindset? imagine a day, you know, it was to reach somewhere I might want it to reach, and it might be like, hey, you don't really what you're kind of. I had to deal with that. You understand? All lies are part of it. All lies are part of being in this ministry. And all that goes back to being what a spectacle.
Say, come all things as dung. You know, the only things you lose as dung. We understand that they say it's sweet in the mouth, but what? Bitter in the belly. You know, the things that come with pushing this way. And you know, it brothers, you know, through the time, give accounts of the things that they lose. The job, you know, they lost the wife, the family, but they just part of it. We know that they not, hey, there is the separation that come with it. You don't see come to set that variance. Right? But against the daughter and so forth and so on. So literally, when it comes to this thing, it's literally a separation. Right? It's literally a separation between what? The righteous and the unrighteous. The holy and the unholy. The believers and the unbelievers. It's just basically that is what it is. You understand?
So you look at it from a certain perspective. If that happens, say like, all goes back to faith. You feel if a man wants to lose his job, you feel not can get an next job? Like, they say with power, all things are possible. You lost one little job and you might be like, oh girl, you sure I go and do now? You might get a phone call, or you might tell somebody your family members and they'll be like, hey, you know how long I work, I'm looking for a worker. Like, it is really, like, these things is really be minuscule when you think about it, because you cannot, it's not difficult. Even in our economy where it might be easy to get jobs, it's not difficult for the Lord to provide something for you. And you had to believe that. You have to believe that. Our job is, and losing our job is not the end of the world. Losing our family member talking is not the end of the world. You understand? All these different things you can replace in a second.
Crazy about those are the Lord, you can lose and you get something better. And that is why now you can put your trust in no one, into the Lord. You know? Every little thing is just minuscule to what it is the Lord can really give you. That is where your hope should reside. It should reside in the Lord. You understand? Yes, some afflictions might hit you, might hire you down or something, but at the end of the day, that is just basically it.
Some is touching in some places, that's good, but that is a part of it. You see, a contrite spirit and a broken heart, that is how the Lord is dealing with things, because really actually, if it is that you never going through nothing bad, you'll never know if that man ready for against it. Nobody is tested in times of months. You're tested in times of adversity. That is when you just really know what is a man ready for. You talk about it like a friend. So you see, and we refer to as friends of the Lord. When the scriptures talk about with friends, you see a friend is known in time of adversity. That is when you just really know who's your friend out there. When everything nice and the Mr. Vegas sing that. All of a sudden we have one bag of friends. Yeah. But when the money got me, I don't see them again.
Yeah, the man said. And you know, that's my favorite track on that rhythm. You understand? On that whole rhythm is you know, for who know, you know, once in the Caribbean, that was one of the biggest songs at that point in time. But the biggest rhythm at that point in time in the early 2000s, right? But he was right. That's why he doesn't know I'm from, you know? Now anytime I hear richness, anytime I good, it's not your friend, anytime I adversity. When you don't know, you understand? Anything about it in this truth, you have what? The Lord tell you who's your family, who your friends, who your family are, and it's done by God really well. You know? Because if you have friends, usually your friends it had to be people that you basically do the same thing with. You know?
Like-minded. They say be around a righteous man who don't know the commandments. You know, that's how enthusiastic.
The Lord tell you straight in the Lord, not to follow our unruly multitude. So yeah. So who is supposed to be around is the righteous. You know, I did a video on that earlier this week. Yeah, talking about, you know, the purposes of why the Lord tell you to be around the righteous. Because when you are around the righteous, it nourishes it. You know, because it's men that like-minded and do the same thing. You know, the scriptures talk about being at one accord. Yeah? Iron sharpeneth iron. But when you when what the reference was a video I saw with somebody doing like three strawberries. One of the strawberries was contaminated, and just because the other two was close to it, connected to it, they ended up with their way as well. You know? So yeah. Well, yeah.
Alright, I'll go back in here, Matthew 6. Matthew 6 verse 31. It say, therefore take no thought, saying, what shall we eat? Or what shall we drink? Or wherewithal shall we be clothed? Right? So you worrying about these different things. And you can still understand if a man was in that mindset like 20 years ago. Whereas things was more booming. You literally seeing everything on a downward spiral right now. It's showing you that most people who are rich, what it is they're doing to gain the riches, because to gain the riches in our unrighteous society, the right way is difficult. It is very, very difficult. Even if you're trying to do it, at some point in time, you're going to have obstacles, because the ones who are around you, who are rich, also, they're not on the same mindset as you. They're doing abominable things to get their money, and you will have to start to share in that corruption to be able to be like them.
Like Allah said.
You don't have to.
I don't know if you see the video. I didn't watch the video, but I think I see it. Was yesterday? Yesterday, I believe, before I go to, or when I was on the job, I believe I just running through some of the on the phone, running through some of the clips from the videos up now. So just thing at them, and I see an elder pop up video saying no jumper, which was the podcast he was doing with the white man. They brace him about the pet situation. So just going to what you're saying, you know?
They will start to share the actions.
Yeah, they're sharing that, you know?
So there's not the time to be seeking riches. This is not that time. Just seek ye first the kingdom. Yeah, you go out to work. Yeah, you go out to make gain because you have to survive, so forth and so forth. Righteously. But it's not about trying to be, you know, you're looking for 40 followers, you know, right 40 followers and clothes and all these different things. No.
What make you feel that you can handle that one on someone if you come?
That's the next thing.
Ask yourself that question.
Anytime you know Jacob,
it was not supposed to that riches pervert, man.
That is like Timothy, 1 Timothy 6.
Yeah.
It's a day that are rich be full of that snare and many harmful lusts, paraphrasing.
Yeah, but the next one I'm talking about, I think you say riches pervert. What's it about? But go ahead.
Right, it's saying verse 32. Right? Matthew 6 verse 32. It says for after all these things do the Gentiles seek. So the Lord telling you, the people who, the actual Gentiles, and for those who are also in a Gentile state of mind, that is the things that they just be saying, don't studying. You understand? That rat race. We're not studying the rat race. Say,
yeah, it's really that. Surah 8:2. Say, be not at variance with the rich man, lest he overweigh thee, for gold hath destroyed many and perverted the hearts of kings.
right, my body, destination of slot. Destination of slot, right? Slot was your dragon.
That was
Lord of the
Lord of the Rings. Yeah,
destination of slot. Huh?
And he wanted
When my boy went to the cave and you see gold, you see eyes get bright like the sun, and he didn't want nobody come in the cave. The man set up a fortress outside the cave. He don't want nobody touch that gold. And I just show how riches is to you. But like everybody has always feel that when they have plenty money, like they're gonna be normal and they're gonna be same. You have very few men that doesn't change. Because they don't understand all these things spiritual. All these things spiritual, knowledge is something spiritual. That way they tell you though, that way apostle will tell you, hey, be careful when you're reading certain things. You'll be going and you want to read this book, you want to read the Bhagavad Gita. These things have spirits behind them. And if your spirit is not strong enough, they will mess you up. Same thing like with riches. All these things are spiritual forces behind it. And it start to, you know, like that soft voices being back in your head, contaminating you slowly. I always remember I said that. And nothing truth anymore. But wait till you tell me when he was in the truth. See, longer he is in the truth, there's more subtly voices in your head that start again. I'll never forget that. Right? All these different things, it has spirits behind them, and you see having voices in your head, putting thoughts into your mind. All of a sudden, like a person will say, when I win the lotto, I'm going to give away $1 million. When you win that lotto and you get 7 million, you want to see that 1 million go from your 7?
Nah, you win 7. But the government tax 2.
Yeah, you
Say
done.
number 5, and
Next
then
one
you like,
alone.
then you like, ah,
Yeah, and money going down fast,
ah,
boy.
this shit going, man.
Yeah, all of a
No?
sudden you find you're not thinking the way you used to be thinking. But NG did just say one thing, why? Because it wasn't in situation. When it is you actually had it, you have it now. And you hearing all them voices singing in the back of your mind. Like when you had the ring, and you was talking to him,
Yeah.
and you hearing that little voice. Trying to, that's how simple it is. You might think you can handle it, but really and truly, most of the time you can't. And that's the reason why scriptures say what they say. It's easier for a camel's toe to go through the eyes of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom. So when it is you have that money, you don't want to see that money go. You want to see it go. You have very few men that will have plenty of money and still have that mindset where flicker with that money.
Alright, so an example of that is like, for example, Job. Job had so much, but then he lose it.
Yeah, he
And-
was a
and
perfect
then
example of that.
he lose Job lose so much, right? Job lose so much that he lost basically, yeah, he lost his own family, even to the fact where his wife said, "I'm on curse you."
Man,
And-
didn't like health.
Yeah, he didn't heal. So he get,
Everything.
remember the spirit that come and deal with him was actually Satan.
Yeah.
The Lord gave Satan a duty to go. He said, touch him, or he said, touch everything, but don't kill him, man.
Yeah, but don't take it like
Yeah. So he get hit to the hardest, and it asked yourself. And again, we mentioned earlier, everything is what, for example, until ask yourself if you was like Job, if you wanna continue.
Nah, some men don't crack. I didn't die about it. Okay,
Remember, this is a video like years ago, like really years I'm talking about. The elder that actually did this video, he move on now, right? And the elder said in the video, he said if you was Peter and the Messiah called you from behind me, Satan, what he said, where are you gonna take it? And then he went into some men that want to hit the Lord, you know?
You're looking about some things like you're going to say about Job. Imagine Peter has still a comfort. Lose all your money, your family,
Your family.
and you had to be scraping boils. I feel them kind of a man could push up the chest, but really actually in that situation, boys on the scale is not nice, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Like, you might really want to jump on that truck or something. Big man thing, no. That he already had a little challenge on it.
Yeah, that's right.
That
Because
different,
you see, that's one of the things people have a misconception. They believe when you're serving the Lord, everything's supposed to be good. You know, and when something bad is Satan, I have video people on that. So people are asking, the pages usually do videos on where I get my video food from, right? You know, where I get my video food from. They ask a question, as they usually do, and he was like, why do people give all the power to Satan and not the Lord? You understand? And there was a question. You know, I saw it late last night, I saved it, and then went to some of the comments and people answer. But you know, not doing the video, obviously, I will go to the I'll go back to the source. But it was a serious question to ask, because that's what people just do. They just give the power unto who? Unto Satan. Whereas it's supposed to be unto who? The Lord. You understand?
And we're treated not logical. Because if you believe that the Lord is all powerful, then would he not have some control over this? That makes sense.
Because the Lord is yeah, right? And that is it. Because when you look at that word, it means unlimited power. You know? And that is the thing about the Lord. You know, the Lord created all these things. What the potter can tell you, what the clay can tell you potter. You know? Nothing. So and again, that is the doctrine I saw. You don't have all the things, you know, they have free will. Or is the first thing you mark in the satanic book? Do as thou will. You know? To do as thou will is to continue to what?
Rebel against the Lord's desire.
Yep. And when the scripture says the do as thou will, it's basically teach. It's a form of witchcraft, that rebellion. You understand? But it's also that way they can make it continue in our sin. Some of the statements that they use today, just like that, is like YOLO. You know, you only live once.
So the opposite to that is what is of submission. So they submit unto the Lord.
And some people just say a good time. You know, somebody somebody I know who work with is like something you were saying, I say yo, that wrong, you know. And he was like, well, we here for a good time. I say, well, we will see how long a good time will last. You know? When good times hit, that is when all they want to do one now. Or they suddenly realize the wrong what to do. And that is when all they want to say, but the Lord said that time he would not know, he wouldn't answer. You understand?
Yeah.
But, oh, you sure? I can't. It's the matter.
Matthew 6 verse 30, or verse 32, right? They say for after all these things do the Gentiles seek. They say for your heavenly Father knoweth that ye have need of all these things. So if some even before you pray, may God know you need things. But you know, it must be fulfilled that the communication will take place. You
That's
say
right.
prayers, you ask, you know, so forth, and the Lord grants it and so forth. You don't need to pray to the Lord for the Lord to know where it is. You know, probably one of them weak gods like Zeus and them might need to pray because they carry your mind. But the Lord know what you about. The Lord know what you about. You understand? He doesn't know where you see.
I have something to say to like that.
Yeah.
And just to say, you know, to slip there a little bit, but oh, right, can. It goes to show that even saying here, the Lord knows where it is, right? But it goes to show that, hey, there is no way we got to do what? If the Lord know that, we're going to come and pray in our work to let the Lord know, hey, this is, we need it first. You understand? Like, for example, you know, in scripture, so we say, MC is on a season. Right now, the brother can tell you, it's hot. You know, it's hot. You know, it's very hot. I think this is what I believe what I was saying is that we're going through one of the hottest times the earth has ever faced. Right?
And they said that last year. So imagine
now.
This year hotter than last year.
Hotter than last year. So it's so hot right now, that's the reason why you're seeing all those storms and things picking up because of the hot air. The sea itself, it overheated from what I was reading. The phone itself can't even take the heat. That is how hot it is. You know, make sure it in the shade. Because anytime the phone go in the sun, it won't cut off. You know that happened to us last week, that time before, right? So you know me, but if you know what? We still have to do what? We don't come on and do what we have to do. You know?
When it's snowing, you see men coming out.
Yeah, Pastor, and I say, where are you seeing this time?
Men taking vacation.
Yeah, men taking vacation.
But you know what? If that'll go and work in the snow, they don't go. If that'll go and check a woman in the snow,
They will go.
they will go.
And it's not about a pride thing like the same thing. No, it's about, hey, holding men accountable for the work that they have to do.
When they see a man always making an excuse for one thing, but to do the same thing to go and do something else, and we just see men do that. When I come to take the time to put energy into this, I have an excuse. But you know what? Don't make time to do this. Don't make time to do that. Make time to do something else. But to do the Lord's work is always out of time, out of money, do all this, do all that. But they will make time to do other things. And the Lord has put them in these situations to show what really in the heart. Right? It's simple like that. It manifests what a man really about. Simple tries the Lord to play it through to really show what it is that man really about. And that's a fearful thing. That is a real fearful thing because then you're not going to be judged for the thing that you say. Because you were saying you had no time, but he will call you an extra shift boy. Wherefore, I come in. You have time for that. You understand? You have time to do that. You have time to do Lord work. It's just so not to pay up, and then he will judge you for your stuffness. There's be something about it.
Now, you go ahead.
Alright, verse 33, right? It says, but seek ye first the kingdom of power.
And that's basically what he didn't say from the beginning. You know, seek ye first the kingdom. That is what should be, that should be the first thought in this thing. You understand? Seeking the kingdom. Asking the question, what is to do? What we are asking, how shall we be saved? You know? But
It says, but seek ye first the kingdom of power and his righteousness. And all these things shall be added unto you. So once it is you actually seeking the Lord's good and seeking righteousness, he will provide things for you. And we have seen this in the past, we have seen it in the present, and we will see it in the future.
That's right.
To see it.
That's right.
You understand? We live to see it and we continue to faith. We will live to see it. Right? We see it in time when the C19. Brothers had no more. And they still eat and they still around today. Jump shotless. You understand?
Working.
You understand? Working. It's not a difficult thing for the Lord to do these things. It's not. It really and truly not.
Even when people was home, you know, that's some brothers that was working too. And they didn't need to take it, they didn't need to take the job.
For others, something was provided for them. It was no, as they say, ham, lamb, and jam, which we know ham is all abominable.
Yep.
But,
yep.
you know, but as I say it.
You're not saying it in the Caribbean.
But,
I don't know if they say it, of course, nobody say it though.
But still, they survived and they were able to make ends meet. You know, it's suspicious enough. All these things that they try in your faith. Right? Working what? Patience. Patience means what's to suffer. You gotta go through a hardship sometimes. Make them are going through anything more difficult. Sometimes it's not even difficult. It just had to be more difficult than it was before, and that is their problem. Jake only want to go up. They never want to, like if they're making a million 1 year, they make $500,000 the next year. They don't like that. That is a problem. I like the afflictions to them. You understand? Already and truly, that is a part of this. You have to go through things.
It's a must. It's a must.
Princess. Yeah, I should. But say verse 34. It said, take therefore no thought for the morrow. It say, for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. It say, sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. So I tell them what, take no thought for tomorrow. Don't be sitting down trying to figure out like you want to plan. You want to plan for next year. You think you're going to be alive next year? Yeah, it's true you can move with discretion. You don't mind telling to go and spend out your rent money and say next month will deal with itself.
That was some coming.
Yeah, discretion. You know, you use discretion, but at the same time, you're not trying to seek to be the richest guy on the block out here. If it happened, according to the Lord's will. But that is not what you're going to use your ministry time to be doing.
It has some brothers might invest in certain things because I mean they live in here, so they want it. It has some men might have, it has brothers who have. Right, and somebody don't even like that. They don't even put it in front of it.
They put it all the time in safe. Yeah. It's something that the Lord allowed to happen for them. Probably because of some job or some skill that they have or some connection. Yeah.
Or sometimes you live in here, you might have your money, you might invest it in something and it might
yeah.
You know?
That is the Lord's grace. But it's not for you to be like, you know, you're getting caught up in it, so to speak. That is what I'm saying. It's not to get caught up in it. Right? Now we say where again, say what where a man's treasure is. So there with his heart be also. Yeah, I don't know where it is you put most of your focus on. And these things are put there to be stumbling blocks. So when it is the Lord will give you opportunities, you know. I tell somebody sometime the other day I said twice. I think in the space of 1 month, twice. One man message, because somebody want to know I used to work with, message man saying, hey, cruise ship work. It's like, nah, buddy. Nah, I good, buddy, I good. Our next man I'm working with, come and tell me the same thing, hey, I get a little connection on a cruise ship work. Twice. And you know them cruise ship and then when you go out there, it's all kind of 6 months you out there for. I can't do that. I can't go out there on ocean and do that. I had to refuse it. You understand what I'm saying? Sit and come and dangle a little.
Yeah.
Can I get money, you know?
usually when you go on a cruise ship, can I come back? You're well off.
Like, good money.
You're well off.
Cruise ship is good money. And I had to be like, I have something to do. I can't work away. I have something to do. Somebody who don't have this responsibility, they could enjoy that.
I've asked somebody who said it to work because some people even understand, like I was saying, somebody like you said, something I also do. I was like, no, Sunday I have something to do. Yeah. And I was like, now we going to take you. I say, I ain't not going to take you. You understand? I ain't not going to take. No, but as you know, I usually this a straightforward person, right? I tell people straight as it could be. I don't take nothing. I have my stuff to do. Whatever I just had to do there, it will wait. You understand? You know? That's why sometimes, you know, like when we started doing the works in the morning time, it's a feel that it's a bit better like early. You make sure you do the Lord work first. It become your first work. You know, you wake up, you do what you have to do whatever it is, and then they come and do the work, you know?
I know funny about that.
Mm.
Let's show how funny that is, right? It happened like yesterday. I end up doing I think 2 videos in the day, in the morning. And I tell myself I'm gonna take a run, and in the night time I'll do our next video. You know when night time come, I feel stupid and I knock out.
And then you have the videos.
So if it is I didn't do the ones in the day,
Yep.
Sometimes that always happens. Sometimes simple. If you keep putting certain things off,
Yep.
something gonna happen and you ain't gonna do it.
Yep.
So the dice how Satan does work.
And now you don't say quench on the spread. It only had to do it. Like I remember we was talking about that. You know, like for example, let me just show something like for the weekend, I mightn't be home, right? So I wouldn't be home for the weekend. But where I might be, I wouldn't be able to do a video because I'm in the midst of people. I'm in the midst of, you know, thing. Doing or sometimes I might be working, doing certain things, right? So you know you have to do that. You make sure you put things in line before. Now you might still, in that time you might still have time to read, you might have time to think, whatever it may be, but to do like the extra stuff, you might be able to do it. So you're here going on, you know, Saturday busy, Friday might be Friday morning. You do 2 to 3 videos, so you know you can upload it through the process. You know?
Put
These
extra effort.
yeah, put an extra effort in. And this is just part of it. You know, me not man of the Lord. You know, the Lord will always first. You know, the Lord always first. No matter what it is, the Lord always first. Because that any time of your affliction, who is going to call first? They ain't calling the Lord. The Lord on a everyday to day life. The Lord not important, right?
And then get up in the morning and washing the car. You know, you don't have time to really even say thanks. You know, when you're washing the car, first thing you get up in the morning, because you have a new model car, you gotta shine. Then you don't have time. Yeah? It's only time of affliction. It's just like the scriptures say.
And that is what thing in there. Because every day to the life, they not time for the Lord. But as affliction hit them, the first thing that's come out of the mouth is Lord help. You understand? They ain't calling the Lord all the times before, you know, but as affliction hits, the first thing coming out of the mouth is Lord help. You understand?
No new thing under the sun.
Yep.
See what they say in that stock, thou hast brought me forth, you know, that stone.
Mm-hmm.
They say, but in the time of the calamity, they shall say, arise and save us.
Yeah.
No new thing. Same way Jake was in the past, same way it is today. No different. But in that time to come, because you don't gain and leisure time now. You know what? You ask for this, you go up. You're making an investment, you go up, everything. When that time come, that all the money fail, and you want to cross your hands, like, I love it. Say go on to the gods which you have.
Yeah, go ask them for help. You know? Ask them for help, won't call them for help.
And money when you're studying whole day, you're studying money, right? So money not helping you. What to my money sleeping?
Yes. I thought you was trying to coin by this man's statue and paying
Yeah.
I thought
Robin's Buddha head.
Yeah. I thought he was manifesting unto the gate.
Yeah. Yeah, it just me and money manifesting.
I thought you manifested. You understand?
Oh, I'm manifesting looking again. I thought you wanted to manifest reality. You rule the destiny. You don't rule the destiny now. So, they see verse 10. I'll read from verse. That's not right. I'll read from verse 30. Hebrews 10 from verse 30, right? It says, for we know him that hath said, vengeance belongeth unto me. I will recompense, saith the Lord. And again, the Lord shall judge his people. Right? So the Lord is going to judge. The scripture say what? They say, judgment shall start at the house of the Lord. Is that a reason why it's set up? We are the ones the Lord really working with. And we had to make sure we get our dice in our which one? Let's say when we are judged, we are trusted with the Lord. Yeah, when I first grade, I was 11:31. Either 7:31 or 11:31, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Right? Say judges people. You see verse 31, it says it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. So we see many examples on the positive side And we see many examples of the negative side when it comes to the Lord. We see what has happened when you listen to him, and we see what has happened. It's like 11:31, 1 Corinthians 11:31, or 1 Corinthians 7:31. Yeah, we see what has happened when you listen to him, and we see what has happened when you don't listen to him. And again, these things are written for our learning. We know.
Yeah, I have to come up with here but
yeah, we know what has happened. We know what has happened when you don't listen. Have many examples of that in the past for me to know. So you can't tell me I had these examples and still you don't want to listen, but yet you don't want to face penalties that these men also face. It don't work that way. It don't work that way. What you sow is what you'll reap. If you sow obedience, you'll reap good. Just like he tell Cain, he say, if thou doest good, shall not thou be rewarded? And if thou doest not good, sin lieth at the door. He lay you know straight up, so you know what is going to happen if you listen, and you know what happened if you do listen. Simple maths. But that is not Jake. Jake wants to do bad and receive good. They want to transgress and receive blessings, and that is not the system the Lord created. Right?
Yeah, this is the 1 Corinthians chapter 11. It's this. Verse 31.
Is that
Nah, that's what I want to do. It says, for if we would judge ourselves, we should not be judged. Verse 32, but when we are judged, we are chastened of the Lord, that we should not be condemned with the world.
And that's why you see the Lord has deal with his differently to how he has deal with the rest.
And even that too, I remember if you chasten, I say no, I say we wouldn't be condemned with the world, because why? There's a different judgment coming for the world. You know that different judgment will happen unto them. Right? So at the end of the day, we rather be chastised, we get chastisement and be condemned with the world. I rather that. You understand?
We being kept on track now. If you have a son, you know what's him in the past certainly. So you beat him now. So I never say that as you say beat your children before somebody starts to beat them. You understand? You want them to be in a certain mindset now and a certain way now, so that when that time comes later down, they wouldn't have to go through certain things. And that's how the Lord does deal with us in these times. Things that other men would do, we would do, and get shut up faith. But they will get shut up faith too, you know. But just not right at this moment.
So when you look up the word chasten, right? So the scripture says, but when we are judged, we are chastened. Right? So when you look at the word chasten, they say to train children. You understand? So that's what the Lord training us, to chastisement. You know? You remember something, you do something wrong and you get corrected, you wouldn't do that wrong again. You know, you get to know that you receive a judgment for this particular act. Right?
That is love.
And that is love. Finish yourself the thing, right? I'd say to be instructed or taught or learn, to cause one to learn, to chastise or castigate with words to correct. They say of those who are molding the character of others. You understand? They say of those who are molding the character of others by reproof and admonition.
So like I said before you continue, right? Look at it, right? Lord training his sons. Right? You're being taught obedience. You're being taught discipline. Because to be able to do these videos, even at times where you might be uptight, to come out here and do this work, all is a form of discipline. All of these different characters that the Lord teaching us through just by doing these things alone, you understand? We get works, we get obedience, and have many other different things out that being taught to us that other men don't have the privilege to be taught. Right?
Right. Let's say, remember it also said the molding. How you just mold something, you're molding it in the way that you want, you're shaping it in the way that you want it to go.
Yeah.
And that's what the Lord do us to chastise, to be chastened, right? It say of God. It say so that one of the definitions, isn't it that? Of God. Chasten of God. So that is it. You get chastened of God. It didn't say the devil.
Yeah.
It didn't say thing, it say of God.
Which is righteousness automatically.
It say to chasten by the affliction of evils and calamities. Right? It say to chastise with blows to scourge.
You see what they say, the evil in our city and the Lord
No,
have done it.
It say to chastise with blows to scourge, of a father punishing his son, of a judge ordering one to be scourged, right? Now, it says a strong definition. It says the training of a child, that is to educate, or by implication, discipline, punishment, instruct, learn, teach, right? Now, when you read the scripture, it say, but when we are judged, we are chastened, right? So we what? We judge, we chasten. So that is obviously you're going to receive some sort of punishment, some sort of correction. You know?
So this is going to hurt me more than it's
You,
going to
you,
hurt
you,
you.
yeah? They say, but here the next piece, they say that we should not be condemned, right? So now guys, you want to look up here, it literally showing the difference between chasten and condemn. So they look at the word condemn, they say to give judgment against, to judge worthy of punishment.
That is not somebody who being kept in track or on point. They just being jacked up. You understand? You don't want to be just jacked up. No.
They say, be one's good example to render another's wickedness. Yeah. It said the more evident and censorable. It said to judge against, that is sentence. And we know it was sentence for what? For the wicked. You know? So that is why we don't want to be condemned with the wicked, because we understand the judgment is going to come onto them.
You don't want fire and teeth of wild beasts and all these different things. So we have watch movies, you know. Even though we watch movies, we still can't really grasp completely what will not take place at that time.
So that is a time I've never seen before.
Yeah,
You know?
no movie can really depict it there. But we see all calamity, how movies show calamities and so. We were watching. I watched the other day. Some time ago, boy. Not the other day. Some time ago, I had a situation where I had a pit bull, and the pit bull like run inside the house and kill and exort this little girl, like tear she up. You can imagine multiple beasts just tearing her apart. Like you can picture it in your mind because you see little examples of it, but that is not a light way to go.
They're gonna be worse.
No painkillers.
It's gonna be worse because remember that day that them spread on the animals gonna be that 100%.
Can.
You know, a whole different. Then you have to study about the strange beasts, the beasts that people have never seen before.
And them things are gonna be tearing you up in a sense like you're trying to bust your throat to kill you. It literally probably tearing up in places where you had to live to take that pain. Like
And then after that tear, the falls and the strip, so then you also you go point 3 things under them.
Once I'm picking out your eyeball or whatever, you still alive. Like yo, what up? That is a judgment of the Lord you don't want to go through. You understand? All these different things you don't want to go through these things. Fear the Lord. I'll be supposed to
Now let me have this a bit. That's what I'm talking about, right?
drop off 15.
Yeah. Right, so let me just go take a quick look at Jeremiah. Right? That next one was looking for 2 simply a point, the thing. But I'll start from what's up from verse 1? Jeremiah 15 verse 1. It said, Then said the Lord unto me, though Moses and Samuel stood before me, yet my mind could not be toward this people. Cast them out of my sight and let them go forth.
I guess talking about that.
Jeremiah was one of them, but when he reached it, like he was really fed up at Jake.
The man was so bad, it was like he just fed up, but he was like a fire in his mouth.
Yeah.
But he was fed up at him. Just fed up.
You understand? I tell the majority of the prophets, they really actually, when they deal with them 2 thirds, it's like a wicked thing.
But Moses and all, he couldn't take them. It's not easy, Jakes.
And Moses gets so fed up. Moses going up to me, the Lord thing. All you know, see the works that the Lord do. And when he come back down now, we catch what they doing. Go to a golden calf. And he get fed up, he was like, hey, you see the Levites, so they come?
Yes.
Bring on the sword, slay them. You know? Both young, old, wherever it may be. You understand?
All them rebelling, just X them.
Make some more. It say, and it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? Then thou shalt tell them, thus said the Lord, such are for death to death. Right? And that is basically what we going into here. Right? Because again, they are pointed to that. That's why the Lord, and that's why even on the read, they say we chasten and we condemn, because the wicked, the 2 thirds, they already condemned to a particular judgment. You understand?
That's why you just sit down and study them so much because
Yeah.
really and truly we understand we can't change them. We just try to we out here for those who are to hear, they will hear it and follow, and for the ones who are not supposed to hear it, that is their lot.
Yeah, that's their lot.
You understand? That is their lot.
It said, thus said the Lord, such as for death to death, and such as are for the sword to the sword, and such are for the famine to the famine, and such as are for the captivity to the captivity. And I go back to what we saying, that different judgment that the Lord said he will bring. Remember the book I say, the Lord said he will visit you to a tempest, earthquakes, so that different things will come, and people will fall to different judgment that the Lord will bring. You understand? This is just basically part of it. Let's say, and I will appoint over them 4 kinds, said the Lord: the sword to slay, and the dogs to tear, and the fowls of the heaven, and the beasts of the earth to devour and destroy. Right? And basically what the brother did not mention just now. That the Lord going to point them to. So if you hear the words that the Lord using, it's things that already predestined to happen. Chasten. Usually the ED means what? Past tense.
Yeah.
Right?
DC.
No, ED. With vowels and no, sorry, not vowels, but in English language, ED means past tense. Like
I talk about DC.
no. I talk about ED. I don't want, like when you using the word like I use the word chasten.
Oh,
You use the word like no, I can't remember how would ED at the end, But you know what I understand what I mean? Certain words that the Lord will use it do what? It's literally things that they can point in. So that way you say, and I will appoint over them 4 kinds, said the Lord. He appointed that unto them. This is the judgment, this is things that are going to happen unto them. Right? All these align with certain prophecies. Right? Because whereas when it has storms are what has come out in storm? Beasts.
And these things are all those things are punishments.
Yep.
All these things are punishments set for those who don't do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, that's right. So that's like the see, yeah man. So you see, same thing like with the Israelites today. They don't believe that what the things not appointed or Jake I don't mind. Jake literally don't pay no attention.
Jake gets sweet quick.
Yeah.
Does get sweet quick. Anything that's nice, Jake gets sweet real quick.
Yeah.
They got no Esau. Wait, what Esau is? What Esau get a man nice? What kind of position? Jake gets sweet off of anything quick. Once it's nice and it's comfortable, Jake gets sweet quick.
That is it. Yeah, that is it for them. We in that.
Jake just not good at having pleasures and keeping a stable mind. Not good at it. Anytime it's something comfortable, get sweet on the walk.
Yeah, when the Lord tell them, you say, what are you covenant? They have been all their heart already, man.
Because you just go off again.
Yep.
You have to be different. You can't have this heart of stone. You can't. But men say they new covenant already, so men don't have heart of flesh apparently. Good.
You see, when they mention things like the heart of stone, I remember what was the commandment to do? Tablets of stone. You understand? And that is where we get what we first covenant. Right? Until you're going to take out of that poor flesh, but men say we need new covenant in this place. Come on.
And I remember when you say heart of stone in mind, back to the Isaiah where you say, why hast thou hardened our hearts from thy fear? It goes back to just being rebellious. You understand?
So you say, shall appoint over them 4 kinds of the Lord, the sword to slay, the dogs to tear, and the fowls of heaven, and the beasts of the earth to devour and destroy. So yeah. You understand? To devour and destroy. We feel like coming to the play out here, now them come to the feast.
I know live with the beast of the field for them who don't want to listen. That is a covenant that God made for those who actually keep the works unto the end.
And you know what?
If
you think about that, it's going to be a glorious day for the animals.
Any dog you ever kick in your life, if you want to be good, and that time you game.
Okay, but see with the lions just look at them. You see the videos with the jaguar and the jaguar like leopards and them running through the forest tigers, and you can remember the building going into the forest.
Yeah.
So the wild animals come in. You ever see what one tiger just do at a village?
Yeah, when the storm.
Yes, everybody got.
Everybody skating. You don't want to be the man that you catch. Yeah. You don't easy sacrifice.
I can see a video. With it's not tiger, it's a leopard, but the fella he didn't know it coming. and he stand up so that, and I left what?
Yeah, I
he,
know.
he heard last minute because he run upon him now.
Yeah. You can't-
Oh no, he didn't hear it last minute. He said the people running so. So when he
And nobody want him.
no, when running for the life, when he care, right? So when he do catch himself and he turn back, it's because he see it, he cannot think it glimpse it last minute. So he said a run. But I left for wrap that man here so bad. Flip that man in the air. Boom, 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 boom. I didn't even know the man survive or not. Eh?
To start with, them things be like 90-something% muscle.
Yeah.
So you can't strengthen.
Can't outrun
You
it.
can't run it.
I think the only thing you can do them is outsmart them.
Yeah. The only thing you might have upon them. Right? Nothing else. In terms of brute force and strength, dead.
No. No, we know it had men. Can lie.
Yeah, he passed. But that is different. That is not the GM men on them. That is men who saw clamp to the hand. You know, like
Fight
men
so long and clamp to the hand.
are different in a different,
Hey,
in a different
it's
mindset.
a good thing you bring up that. It's a men go hear them stories about King David doing that, right? And say that fake. But they go believe Achilles was untouchable.
Men fighting for 3 days
Yeah.
straight. You know survive for 3 days? And them kind of shit?
I can use crazy thing. It hard wars like that.
Yeah.
It hard
No
wars
rest.
like that. No rest. No rest.
Let's show you how men was
And do
different
we not
back
see
then.
wars like that today? We see that's not sword wise,
Yeah,
but we
not
see it
sword-wise,
gun
yeah.
wise.
Constantly. But to be able to fight that kind of stamina, that I say that let us show you how the men of stature was from back then compared to now. Men was on a different level.
Different beast.
And consider, you say what? They say shall not one chase 1,000 and two put 10,000 to fly. So we seeing the kind of abilities men had, even in times of David. And the men that we going to become apparatus are going to be even greater than the men and them.
That's right.
You understand? When Israel change and get them bodies, I'm going to be in a whole different level.
No, we will say we just say
So, but in terms of like in strength, in like in
If
the
you compare
physical,
them, that-
in the
that's
physical
the-
ability, you know what I mean? In the physical ability. No, not like that, but in the physical ability, going and be on a greater level in that sense. That sense talk about but one chasing 10,000, they're going to be on a different level. You feel any nation, they might have a little bitterness within them because they're going to be a little salty, but you feel them going to be watching the kind of abilities Jake going to have in that time and feel you want to, like, I'm going to take a big son and pell this man in the air, or, but you have to, you know, like that episode of Simpsons where Bart was a monster. And you can read people's mind, and everybody walking around thinking positive thoughts right through. And the one man take a shipping thought to into a dog. You understand? Like, you're gonna be walking around trying to have a positive mind right through.
no back talking in mind.
Yeah, don't even try to be angry, like try to be cool as possible because you're not looking for no problems with them men in that time. Because you will be able to see the kind of thing. Imagine you walking around. You don't have a bigger stature than everybody else, but you're not gonna have no body, you know. As Jake is general.
We could literally be pulled back in the right form.
Yeah, so we're going to have a man watching men walking up big and you have a threshing instrument. You know, for those who know, you know, I'm back to it.
Your bankai. Your bankai.
Men don't want to see Setsui activate. You understand? That's a whole, you're thinking about it, you can only visual it one way, but seeing it is a whole different story. You
And
understand?
that's what we hope coming, because we could talk about it here and laugh, because hey, we have hope that, and we show, you know, positive, the faith we have in the Lord, because those things are going to happen.
And for even for those who say if some didn't believe, even for those who don't believe, it really does not matter. They will see in that time to come. Some will see, some will believe and not see, and then some will have to see to believe. And that is just their lot. Which we hope that is not, you know, that we make it up to the end.
That's right.
Right? Go down in Hebrews, here, Hebrews 12. I'll start from verse 5, right? Hebrews 12 verse 5. It says, and ye have forgotten the exhortation which speaketh unto you as unto children. It says, my son, despise not the chastening of the Lord.
Despising the chastening of the Lord, because that is part of the correction. That is part. Yeah, at the end of the day, when the Lord chastises you, we as well say, it's like, so you'll be thankful because at least the Lord dealing with you. You don't be like Saul and then you look at him, hey, now the Lord dealing with my time. You know?
Like so was fucked up.
Huh?
Even in Lord the path, we was fucked up.
Yeah.
he had it bad.
Right? Go back to your thing where the Lord used the same thing against him because he was a man who was in torment, which is, you know, he said, get rid of them. And then the same thing he said, get rid of, the same thing he turned back to.
To get answers.
To get answers.
When ready and truly. And that is just Jake because in the beginning you had all the answers.
And you know the crazy thing about it? It should go to show the left hand side they had the power too because she actually make him see Samuel.
She called him back up.
No, remember he was ready to, he was going.
Yeah.
And she just opened, yeah.
He saw spirits arm
Yeah.
ascending and descending, yeah. And but you go on to the witch for answers. If you just behave and just listen, you would have all the answers all the time. Yeah, the answers would have never depart from you.
Yeah, answer though. Yeah, answer.
That just Jake, yeah, like they have what they need in her. And you just didn't follow up on it. Simple. You should have just followed up on it.
Remember I said the things he said to do wrong.
You know, I was saying, if you just stick to what you're supposed to do, that wouldn't happen. But again, it's a fearful thing to fall the hands in living power.
But
that was ordained for him.
But I see, Israel, they wanted that what? What they asked for? They wanted that king, they get a king.
Which all of that was ordinance too. Because originally, that's how it would have been, it was ordained to be. You understand? He was ordained to go off. David was ordained to be David. You know, that's just how it is.
And then Solomon, I don't see Solomon.
Yeah, all of that was just a part of it. They say, trusting of the Lord, they say, no faint when thou art rebuked of him. And we just see men fainting. You understand? Because being rebuked of the Lord, it doesn't get easy. Depending on what it is, especially if you do some piece of shit, like that brothers would testify that you know that time to do some of those shippers they weren't supposed to do. And Lord get them some hard lash because of it, like get some good backhand. You know, like what I say in the Caribbean, they get some good backhand. But that is a part of it. You mess up, say what they say what glory is it if when you are perfected to your faults, if you take it patiently, it's nothing special. You look for licks, you get licks. It's a normal ordinance. It's only if you did nothing wrong and you're chastened, you take it cheerfully. You say this is acceptable with the Lord.
The Lord is not a father like how your father was when he abandoned you. Or he never correct you. The Lord is where you good after. But the Lord will chastise his son because he loves you. Fathers today don't even do that because they don't really love the children.
So then you open pattern in keeping. Or you even correcting in no kind of way for you to already know, hey, wait a minute, don't do that. You understand? See, verse 6 it say, for whom the Lord loveth, he chastens.
So that's strictly we will say that's not. Who the Lord love, he what? He chastise. But Christians will tell you the Lord, thou not the Lord, thou am like who? El Shatan.
Same thing you're saying earlier. They always want to give that credit to somebody else. As Jake does always do. There's always give the Lord's credit to somebody else. And they'll have to answer for that. The quote over here, it says some receive benefits in this life and have not known me. When they receive those benefits, they'll get the credit to those idol gods at them.
Yeah, you know, if it's one thing Jake love, it's an idol and a false prophet. They love that. They love that. Jake love that.
Yeah, tell the Holy One of Israel to cease from being among us.
Yeah, they love idol, man.
The idol worshippers. The man said the Moses movie. What is this, Grandpa? Idols.
Yeah.
For idol worshippers.
The idols banter.
Yeah. See, verse 6, it say, for whom the Lord loveth, he chastens, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. It say, if ye endure chastening, power dealeth with you as with sons. Because a good son know that, hey, I do something wrong, I get punished for it. It's like I will say, I shall bear the indignation of the Lord because I have sinned against him. Now man have understanding to know that Lord ain't beating me for no reason. He's not one of them fathers who just go out and drink and come back drunk and in a bad mood and you drop a glass and break it and you slap off your face.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah,
That's not how he does roll. When he beating you, it's for a reason. Don't beat you for no reason. It's a reason why you're getting your tail washed. I was actually saying that tune up.
Yeah, get that tune up.
The reason why you're getting a little tune up.
They're going to fixing us.
Yeah.
You need that engine.
You see, the endure trusting power dealing with you as his sons. For what son is he whom the father trusts his son?
Yeah, that's what we're saying. You're a father and you don't trust your son or your daughter, whoever it may be. You know?
Unless you have a perfect child.
Unless you
none
have
of
a
us,
perfect child.
none of us are perfect child.
Even if I consider the correct, you said a child, you wouldn't say about a perfect child because you still have to teach a child the right way to go.
You don't know the correct thing. And once you don't know the correct thing, you just make mistakes. And even if you do know the correct thing, because you're in this flesh, you still make mistakes. So chastening is something necessary from time to time. You know, sometimes you forget your place. You know, you say this, no? Sometimes you forget who you is, and you have a fresh reminder. It does happen. It does happen. Sometimes you might want something that you shouldn't want, and you might do some little stupidness. You might need a little encouragement to deter you from either not doing it or from not doing it again. It does happen. Not pleasant, but it's necessary. It says verse 8, it says, but if ye be without chastening, wherefore all are partakers, then then are ye bastards and not sons. So you want to be in the lot of the sons. You want to be in the lot of those who the Lord does make sure you stay on the right track.
Does a father correct a bastard child? That is not it? No, there is a bastard.
Yeah. You don't care about it. They say what the higher don't care much for the sheep.
But I think
You don't belong.
a bastard son, a father don't care about him because I know you.
Yeah, it's not yours.
Oh,
It's just like the higher is not his sheep. So he's not gonna risk his life for the sheep. But once something is not yours, you're not going on really put yourself out there to really fight for it. You understand? Because it doesn't belong to you. You go and say that that's somebody else's responsibility and problem.
so when you look at the word bastard, it says it's a bastard, right? It's a one born not in lawful wedlock, but of concubine or female slave. So it's literally, technically it's not yours, outside that. It's a illegitimate, right? It's a fumble that word. You understand?
That child doesn't belong to you, so it's not your problem. And I saw people, that's how Jakes is even be. Jakes is be like, hey, that's my child. I don't, you know, my problem.
Yeah, my problem. I mean, because about it, that each child, but that's because he don't want to see for the child. But in this situation, don't want that bastard. You understand? I was saying about I get an accident, right? Serious.
Yeah, that one, because we should want to park, though. Want to park close to the taxi.
No, not even
pass.
that. Not even that. The SUV was coming down. The car that was behind him was speeding. The SUV, remember right here, so Mendes just slowed somebody wrong. The car coming so fast, he had to pull to the side.
Right now, road fatalities increasing.
And there's an expert age, but you'd have to pay for a man van today.
I think more van?
Yeah, I assume.
No, but like a
New. Fresh.
Say, verse 9, right? They say, furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh which corrected us, and we gave them reverence. And that you'll see that happen plenty. Like, when you were small, if you actually had good parents, and they was correcting you and so forth, and when you get big and you'll be like, hey, thanks for already not making me go out there and play the ass, making sure I stay home, make sure I study.
So that's what it come like you leave one on day yourself,
Yeah.
like on day yourself.
I think until it's
Today. Yeah, today.
Yeah, so you thank them, you'll be like, hey, you know, thanks to keep me on the right track. I remember when I used to work, I had a woman used to work with me. And she was younger than me. I mean, I was working, it was like about 7, 8 years ago. No, but I think when I was there, around that time, she wasn't even like 25 yet, and she had 3 children. Right? She had them really young. I think she had them like around 17, around 19. She started having them like really young, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But what she explained was that she had 3 real young, and she said that she father was real worthless. She father didn't used to really keep she in track, and make sure she didn't do the wrong thing, and she was free to go out there and play the house. But when I say, the scripture say what? It said, thy daughter be shameless, keep her in still, lest she abuse herself over much liberty. You understand? When somebody young and they're not bright, they're not supposed to have too much of freedom. Because it's obvious they're going and do foolishness and get themselves in problems. It's your job as a parent to make sure they stay on track and have behavior and do what they're supposed to do. But as a bastard, you know, I go through that.
Hey, that bastard, and
Yeah, you don't care. Whatever happens to you, happens to you. You understand? And that is not how you want to be treated in the eyes of the Lord. But it have requirements. You ought to be doing the things that the Lord commanded you to do. You ought to be trying to be a son or a daughter to the Father. You understand? You can't want an allowance and you ain't doing nothing for allowance. That is not how it's going to be. Right, sorry, the Bible is oh, yeah, verse 9. It says, furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh, which corrected us, and we gave them reverence. It says, shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the Father of spirits and live? Shall we not? Basically, Father of spirits, he controls everything, he knows everything. What the Lord tells you to do, he didn't tell you to do shippiness. He didn't just gain your orders because, you know, he just feeling to be there's somebody who's like a dictator. You understand? He said God is not the author of confusion but of peace. He's like a peaceful society where everybody living in tranquility with each other without problems. It say verse 10, it say for they verily for a few days chasten us after their own pleasure, but he for our profit, that we might be partakers of his holiness. So when we be in chastened, it's for our good. It's not for the sake of just being chastened sake.
That way to be what? To be partakers. To be partakers.
Yeah, to be partakers.
You gotta go through the same thing that happened before. That happened before. That's what happened unto the men that said to God. Right? So that what we say. That you have to go through some form of chastisement.
Yeah, you know, to keep you on track. Because really and truly, when you're getting chastised and you have that was again we use the term Joshua and wax fat. When it is all people never used to be chastened. In the sense of like things was nice and there was you know everything was really good with them. What used to happen? They used to eventually go off. So that had to be corrected. That had to be corrected to be able to put them back into place. Because they forget things comfortable, everything nice. So what they do? They start to become abominable. Imagine you in a time where they say when Solomon was there, say silver was like stone. Imagine you have so much riches, you have so much things going good for you, and you just want to build a tower to Ashtoreth. Like where that even come from? They didn't think about it, like where that even come from? You just want to build a tower to Ashtoreth and to all of these Idonians and like where that even come from? The nations that serve these gods, they have silver like stone? No. But it just ain't Jake to be rebellious when it is that they're too comfortable.
Things too nice.
Yeah.
Things too nice, they get out of order.
Yeah. You start to get puffed up and you start to have that attitude like if it's not a
I say they become too they say why is your pronounce even unto us because they you know they believe everything good. That if any white
look like he's somebody in something.
They look like you know earlier I said he looked like the brother to the Catholic man who passed earlier. You know the fella who does pass across he's passing every morning. It's same white long sleeve thing you know. I will show you this. I will show you this. He no pass back. He is good one. He no pass back on the other side of the street. That look like the same thing. So look like Catholic or something.
I didn't ask that question. I never be a children.
He remember the accident. But nonetheless.
Yeah, that'd be interesting as usual. I was curious to hear what you'd ask me.
Only they hear. I always see them passing in the white long sleeves, so most likely I believe like Catholic.
I guess we don't have a good thing to.
If an experience, it's understand. Right.
It's in now no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous, which is not. Yeah, it doesn't, you're not gonna be like happy about being chastened in a place where you're trying to be good at other people. But it's like Job said, guys, I think that is Job about 20. Where it said he triumphed, but he wicked is short.
So far, short time, yeah.
Yeah. Like 25 or something.
Yeah, they drove to the 20th.
Right?
Yeah. What's going is that Job 21 or something I was thinking about.
Yeah.
But Job to the 20th verse 5, it said that the triumphant of the wicked is short.
Nah, but what?
It said, knowest thou not, sorry. It said, knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon the earth?
So there's not a new thing. There's not something that recently started. Like you're talking to the guy and you're saying, yeah, he believe in hell, but you don't know when hell was created. What do you say for that? Like, this is not something new. This is something that from since the beginning. You understand? For example, Cain was a good example. He was there from since around the beginning. He was wicked, and what happened to him? Did he triumph? No. You understand? This is what they say, one of those universal laws.
Yeah, the manifestation.
Yeah, it's like universal law. This is something that nobody has ever been able to escape. This is something that the Lord put, and it's something that is an ordinance. Listen, right? Listen. No, listen, man. Wait, you want to know something else?
Nah, after this.
Yeah.
It says, verse 5, it says, the triumph of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite, but for a moment.
For a moment. Anything that is wicked does not last. You understand? It doesn't last. It doesn't reach the highest pinnacles. Okay, I'm telling somebody something at a time. I just tell them what I was going to tell them, but I didn't get a chance, so I didn't make exactly what. But when the Lord created a structure, the Lord say, alright, husband head of the house, then the woman. Any house that have the woman at the head is not going to be as prosperous as it's supposed to be.
Order.
It is not, like, no matter, she could be smart and real creative, and any house that doesn't have the husband at the head and the woman under the husband is not going to be in its full.
Master, me do you see that? I got a situation happened recently, and I was talking to a man who's giving him a little advice. And it's basically the same thing you say there right now. You get to realize that your wife will be considered smart in terms of what you would call worldly wisdom, right? And here what went on is that instead of use it against him, but you get to realize that here what's going on. Because I thought other man telling me, same thing, I tell them that hey, that's the reason why you don't have a woman talking this way, that's the reason why you shouldn't have a woman above you and all that kind of things. And he was like, yeah, he admits in a way he was wrong now. You understand?
Yeah, the Lord create a system, and you also create a way. Like, for example, alright, I'm giving you this system. The best way you can get the best outcome is by this system. Anything else you go to, you might get a outcome, but you're not going to get the best outcome. He created to be that way. So no matter what it is you do, that's like I always say, just like we talked about last time, the land Sabbath. If it is that the Lord created whereas 6 years you reap and 7th year you let the land rest. It's true if you reap on the 7th year too, you will still get increase on it. But it would not be as bountiful as if you did it the way you set it up. And that's how you put it. Because let's be real, if it is that you can get the outcome you wanted, best outcome from not following what he said, what would be your reason to do what he said? He created it that way. So that you have to go according to how he said to do it. So that you can get the best outcome that way. Anytime you deviate from that way, you might get a outcome, but the stock not going to be the same. It's going to be lower. It was designed to be that way. So anytime you're telling yourself you want to do this way, you want to do it that way, if it isn't contrary to what the Lord said, you are not going to get a perfect outcome from it. Try as hard as you might. You understand? It don't matter how hard you try. You're not going to get the best outcome if you're not doing it how the Lord said to do it. And this is where obedience is coming, and this is where faith is coming. The Lord gave us a design, He gave us a structure, and we have to believe in the structure that He gave us and follow it. You understand?
Yeah. This is the book of, let's go into this, you try for everything, right? This is the book of Ecclesiastes 8 verse 12. It say, though a sinner do evil 100 times, and his days be prolonged, yet surely I know that it shall be well with them that fear God, which fear before Him. Right? So even though that sinner, and his days prolonged, that's so what?
It might seem simple,
Yeah.
you know, but you're not going to get the best outcome. It's not going to happen by design. It's a universal law. You cannot escape it. Say what they say, and I think Proverbs 2 say what there's no reward for the wicked man, and the candle of his wickedness shall be put out. You can't avoid it.
A candle have a dancing thing. There's some candles last long.
Yeah.
You might use that for a good while. One candle lasts for a real good while. Then that's something cut short. But eventually it must reach its point.
Yeah,
The wick must burn out, you know? That is it.
You cannot escape it. You cannot. And when they're in the joyful folly, they doesn't consider to lay these things to heart. Just like Esau. Right now Esau in that same mindset, you know? Because they're getting the rain for so long and they're getting to enjoy it and nothing happens to them. But when scriptures say what they say, they thought that they were all together, I was all together one as them. They're just paraphrasing. They thought that the Lord was on their side because they did all these things. I'm just slavery, them beating jigs, you know? Even before slavery, they beating jigs, but down to slavery, they beating jigs. I should have go straight back to the I should have go straight back even to the but you tell again with the Greek speaking Jews. Straight back in the Greeks and the Romans, the Hellenization. I go straight back here, but even go ahead to slavery and forward now. They're still beating jigs now with these draconian laws and them.
You see, Victor was in slavery in Egypt.
Yeah. But no, but I'm talking about from Esau now.
Oh, from Esau.
Yeah.
Alright,
from Esau. Like come straight up to slavery and straight up to now. They're still afflicting jigs with these draconian laws. And
no, the draconian law is more powerful. You know? Well, as I said, they're doing it more powerful. You know?
Yeah.
Now they can do it more powerful due to the fact that the artificial intelligence and all this other stuff.
But they won't be doing it like directly,
not
back.
yeah.
But they're doing it through like legislations. More now, you know, but they're still beating jigs in a particular form. And they're getting away with it so long, they get puffed up like, that's not going to happen. The Lord's not coming back for these people. And that goes back into the slanderer. You understand? What were they doing? But you had them so. But you thinking that because of the system you built, put together, whereas you're afflicting them, yes, but they're doing bad, so they deserve to be afflicted. However they might wanna structure it, they thinking to themselves that, hey, you know, not coming back for these men, right? Look at the state them and watch. World Star was created for them. Look what they get on it. And they're thinking to themselves that nothing will happen, but hey, you have to pay for that. It is prophesied and written. That, hey, he that toucheth you, toucheth the apple of his eye. You have to answer for that. Can't no gain around it. Just one true thing.
Now, it's verse 13. This is what we're going to get to say. But it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he feareth not before God.
It shall not. Shall not. It didn't say maybe, possibly. It didn't give no. Whatever the guy was saying, it didn't say them alone. It said shall not prosper. Right? It shall. Eventually it's going to come to an end. Like I have a saying that is used. He who abuses power will eventually lose his power. And on the back of that, he started to pay for abusing the power in the first place. It's only for a time. And eventually that time just come to an end. Right? Understanding this, he does want to be in the good books. It's a song say when you see it's come marching in, you want to be in that category. You don't want that when the time comes, you was one of them who was joined on to the heathens. You was one of them who was, you know, doing wickedness alongside them and taking pleasure and righteousness. That is not what you're looking for. You're looking to be numbered in the number of the saints. You're looking to receive that mercy. As you have to read before, that we wouldn't be chastened in the world. You know? Let's see, we'll see that right. It say, now no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous, but grievous. It said, nevertheless, afterward, it yielded the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby. And we being exercised by that. Rehearsing righteousness while living in a wicked kingdom and being chastened for buffeted for our faults, as the scriptures say. But ultimately it worketh for our good. Right? It worketh for our good because we know that there is a reward that comes after all of these things. And that's why the apostle say what Paul said, Apostle Paul said is he counted all things as done?
Yeah, that was what I mentioned earlier, that in Philippians.
You understand? He counted all things as done. All of these things are just for a time. We know that these things are temporal, and you see that this will pass away. Do you remember the story in the Ezra's? In the Ezra's 1, where we talk about the truth. They say the truth is what? The most powerful thing. It also class women alongside it, but really and truly, the truth is more powerful than women. Yeah, it's true. Women might have a stronger effect on men, but the truth in it, right?
Supreme.
Yeah, the truth in it. Nothing can ever dispute the truth. I remember telling somebody the other day, I say if you're lying, I must catch you eventually. It could take a week, it could take a month. A lie is something you not only have to try to hide, but you also have to keep putting the work to continue hiding it. You don't have to hide the truth. You don't have to hide it. Eventually, it will manifest. Eventually,
Eventually, it will be. But all things that are hidden will come to what?
Come to light. They can't, but better just tell the truth and done. Once it's a lie, it will come out.
Check the camera, make sure it's not going to come. I see screen get that.
String your dark. Shucks, battery low.
Alright, so we will just cut it off here.
Yeah.
Right? So, because the battery don't want to cut
Yeah,
off.
the battery and the charger getting some problem. So,
That will, like thing, you know?
Right? So with that, we'd like to give all praises and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Makapadash.
double honors the apostles and those of great notes to do well. Peace and blessing to the afternoon. We will push it before corners of the earth. Right? With that we say,
Shalom.